What is good, you guys? We're excited. We're excited. You guys remember when we had a conversation with Dean Thomas and he was talking about coming out with a podcast and his homie and all that stuff? Well, we got his homie, you guys. Ryan Quinn is here. Let's go. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is homie, huh? Oh, man. Him and I got to be a little more transparent with how we feel about each other, I guess.
He was blowing you up. He said you guys are best of friends, almost brothers, and you guys doing all things together. Yeah, he was hyping you up pretty good, man.
Dean and I have an interesting relationship. We're extremely like-minded, but like we have different paths on how we get to where we want to go, but we're both very well aware that not only do we respect that we can learn from one another on how to get there. And like you could even see, like he was one of my coaches at American Top Team, and then we started coaching together. And it's you need that, right? Like you got to be open-minded. You got to understand that there's more than one way to skin the cat. And ever since then, it's become a wonderful friendship. He's really, really one of the better friends in my life.
Nice. Speaking of which, very similarly, Cefore Explosives is here. It's kind of like that. Everybody? We kind of like that too.
Yeah, awesome. Sorry, I cut him off.
No, you're good. Absolutely.
Don't even. It's all good. We are family, kid.
Cool.
So, going back to when, your and Dean's relationship. How did you guys meet?
So, actually, it's really funny how we started to really connect when he came back to American Top Team and started coaching when I was still fighting. Then when I got into coaching, plus him and I love to figure things out. Like him and I, like, we both read the most random books, and we're oh, you got to check this out, you got to check that out, and we just because we both love learning. And I remember because I'm a huge baseball fan, and I remember I was like, you got to read the book Moneyball. Because the coaching thing is like, oh, dude, this is crazy. So like that's when we realized like we both are like-minded, like we do things. But funny enough, and I can't find this video anymore, but I know it exists. So the first time I ever seeing Dean Thomas in person, I went to the Ultimate Fighter tryouts in 2008 in Chicago, and he was there. And there's a video. I had the best 1 minute grappling I ever had in my life. I submitted this dude in three times in 1 minute. I swear, and I swear there's video. But anyway, in that video, and this when Dean was in the UFC, right? And in that video, you see Dean in the background like this, looking at like, and then Dean and I, we didn't meet and get tight for another 10 years.
Yeah.
It's so crazy how it works out. But yeah.
Planted that seed back then, though.
Yeah. I'm like, I gotta find that video, man. It's not like, but then when I really started coaching and picking his brain, because I knew that he was passionate about coaching, that's when we really hit it off when we started coaching together. And then, we stayed in touch and when COVID happened and then I started doing the YouTube thing and he was really getting into media and now we talk all the time.
Dope. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Connecticut / New York. I moved to Connecticut when I was 13. And then that's where I went to high school and college. And then I moved down here when I was 24.
Where's down here? Florida?
South Florida. Sorry.
Okay. No, all good. All good. So you grew up in the northeast area, and you're talking about baseball and stuff like that. Were you an athletic kid when you were going through school?
Oh yeah. I was actually really good at baseball until I was about 12. I was actually on a national travel team when I was 12, and then I started wrestling when I was 13, and I just never wanted to go to the batting cages anymore. I just wrestled and you have to do one or the other. Well, I had to anyway. I had to do one or the other to succeed, and wrestling was my thing. I remember my dad saying to me, like we're huge baseball people. He's like, I think this is your niche, kid. And I remember I just got into wrestling, and then that led to Jiu-Jitsu / MMA, and brought me down here to American Top Team.
Do you have any? Do you have any?
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Sorry, real quick. Yeah. Do you have any siblings?
I have 2 younger sisters. They don't wrestle.
Okay. What were you saying, Mike? I'm sorry.
I was saying my son wrestles too. He's wrestled 3 years. This is his 3rd year in high school.
Oh, wonderful.
And this is the year that he's like all in. Like,
where are you guys?
I'm in Jensen Beach.
Okay.
So I'm not far. I actually met Dean in Port St. Lucie at a jiu-jitsu like a gym. My son was doing some off-season drills and stuff like that, and random enough, that was his last day there, and then Dean walked in, or yeah, something like that.
Wrestling, like my dad even says this all the time. I love wrestling so much. That's so great that your kid's in it, because my dad always says, sorry, my dad always says, he goes, wrestling taught you in areas how to be a man that I couldn't. He's like, just I'm waking up. I don't know why they don't do this anymore. I mean, maybe they do, but I know the high schools down here didn't. We used to have to wear a shirt and tie to school on match day. And I was like, if I'm ever a wrestling coach, my team is doing that. They're going to be presentable. And he's like, I started to keep my grades up so I wouldn't, fail off the wrestling team, like all this stuff. And I dealt with loss, and I wanted to be in shape nonstop. And like, I wasn't going out. And so that's awesome. Please keep him wrestling. I think that wrestling's good.
It's changed his whole landscape, his whole mindset. Those are the foundations of being a man. Like you see it coming to fruition. The daily drills, going in there like 6 o'clock in the morning, and before school, after school, and yeah, man, he's gonna be a beast this year. I'm excited.
Awesome, me too. Definitely, please keep me in the loop on that.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
For sure.
So what was it like when you got into wrestling when you were in high school?
I was in 8th grade. When I was in 8th grade, that's when WWE was taking off.
What time frame? What?
98.
Okay.
I was in 7th grade, actually. Sorry. So 99 is really when I started wrestling. Sorry. So
okay.
Is it like D-Generation X and all that in that frame?
So
they're good.
Yep. we loved pro wrestling, and me and my friends went out for the wrestling team. And then the next year, I was the only one who stuck with it. I was like, and I remember my dad, my first match. I remember my dad. He actually he worked in construction. He took off early to go watch me wrestle, and he thought that's what he was about to go see. He's like, oh. And then I got my ass kicked in 30 seconds. And then he's like, he told me this way later. He goes, I was waiting to see how you were going to react to that. And then when you said that you wanted to get back to it, I was like, this is like he's like, this is going to be so good for him, because now, like, I just got smoked, and now I still want to keep going and getting better.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do you find that a lot with kids, like when they get, and this question is kind of for both of you, when you see a kid these days, I grew up in the 70s, it was different. But like kids these days, when they bump into adversity like that, do you find that most of them kind of throw their hands up and quit, or do they push through?
Well, I think it's a little different, because I'm in a martial arts setting where it's kind of expected, where things are going to happen, where I see most kids. My son's only 5, so I'm like kind of new experience in like how kids are at all. But my son is very competitive. I don't know where he gets it from. Actually, it was funny. He loves swimming, and usually I let him win when we're doing the races and stuff. And one day I'm like, I'm not going to let him win. I want to see what happens. He made me race him 21 times until he won.
Yeah.
So yeah, like kicking out of it. But so like the kids that I see, I don't know. I understand things a little easier these days. You gotta be a little like, but I don't know. Maybe just the programs that I'm around, they make the kids demand more of themselves. So I don't really see that in the setting that I'm at. But I understand that it's out there though.
There is that mindset though, like, the fundamentals of wrestling, you have the mindset wrestler, right? Like, but like it takes a while that I see in high school for the kids to actually to buy in. The ones that are buying in at like 5, 6, 7. The ones that are coming in a high school, they're trying out, and they'll either flake out, or in all honesty, my son wanted to quit. First year, he's like, this is like hell week was really hell week for him, and he didn't want to go through it. And then the second season, he wanted to quit again. He wanted to quit 2 days before the state championship. Coach is like, I'm not letting you quit. I want to see what you're made of. You traveled the road too far, and those are the fundamentals. And then now this year he came 7th in the state last year, and now he's gunning for varsity, and he's got this hunger in his eye, man. So there is that yes or no, like you can bend or break. The ones that bend will come back for sure.
Absolutely.
Was there ever a time Ryan, where you were just like, this is bullshit. I
Yeah.
don't want to get into math.
I had a similar situation. I was in 8th grade, and my coach was putting me against all these studs, and I wasn't winning. And I was just like, this guy just doesn't like me. And I was like, I don't know. Like, this is my 2nd year wrestling. Maybe I'm just not as good as I thought. And I remember, I don't know if I ever said I want to quit, but I remember I was crying. I was like 14. I was like, I'm crying. I was like, what is it? And then he's like, I'm not doing this to punish you. I'm doing this to bring out the best in you. And it's difficult, and you don't see it. You might not see it tomorrow, but this is what I'm doing. And it was. I'm a slow learner. I'll tell you right now. I got another story in a minute, but so and then we went to the state tournament, similar to your son, and I was the 2nd to last seed, and I made it to the finals, and I lost in overtime because I just got so much better, and I was smoking these kids left and right. And even when I was in high school, I wrestled varsity because I got a little bit better, but I had a losing record my first year. I was 14-22, and I was like, no, this ain't right. Like, I was just like, I just knew after going through that. It's just funny, these life lessons, you don't realize are life lessons until later. I'm thinking about that, like, this ain't me. And then my sophomore year I did a little bit better. I was 40-40 my freshman and sophomore year. My junior and senior year, I was 110-17, and I finished 6th in the country.
Damn.
So it's like stuff like that, like I'm never gonna stop. Like that's
what's that feel like? Because like this country has what, 3.5 billion people.
Yeah. Well, you know,
you're like in this certain group, you're like 6th best.
I didn't know until later, and that, you know, when my dad gets excited about it, you know, like it's at his house, but which is cool. But but yeah, it's like, wow, you know, it's pretty awesome. I was all American, you know, it's cool to like talk about it like this. So
yeah,
it's crazy. It's crazy how, like, you know, your freshman year, it seems like it's so long, right?
Yeah.
And you're going through those defeats, and then but there's a 4-year lane right there, a runway where, you know, you come back next season, like it's a whole different. It's the reset. You know, last season didn't happen anymore. You're going on, and then, you know, and then you're going every year. You're going in, and then what? You're 105-17, and you're killing people, man.
Yeah, crazy, man.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. I've seen some videos, man. The wrestling is there, man. Like I see it, like, you know, is that like the muscle memory right off the rip? Because I know you had a quote where something about balancing your bread and butter with like trying new things, because you got to implement the jiu-jitsu, and it's a multifaceted game. But like, your wrestling is there, man, and you're wearing these guys out. You're dogging them.
Oh yeah. I never got away from that. You know, well, I did a little bit, but luckily it never really came out in a fight. But yeah, my identity was always a wrestler, and I think it's important for fighters to remember what your identity is and not get away from it. Because, like, I don't know if you know who King Mo is. He's one of my best friends, a good friend of Dean's. And I remember we're training. I'm going through this, and I'm starting to work on my striking, and then my wrestling kind of suffered because I was ignoring it. And he goes, "You're vanilla, dog." He's like, "You're not. You're just you're 250-50. Remember why you started striking is to get to your wrestling." And then when I did that, and I got better. And I'm confident in saying that I was one of the best wrestlers in MMA. I took down everybody in the room, and because I was cool with my identity. You know, I was comfortable with it.
That's what's up, man.
How did it walk us through your jump from wrestling in high school to the Ultimate Fighter?
Yeah. So I wrestled. I was wrestling in college. I went to Sacred Heart University to wrestle Division I. I transferred home, and something happened where, like, long story short, like I transferred from a junior college, and then they changed with the clearinghouse, which basically was eligibility, and like I couldn't wrestle for 3 years. I'm like, well, I'm not going to do that. I can't wrestle after the season. So I was broken. I moved home, and I remember Matt Hughes beats Hoist Gracie in the UFC, and then this country white boy is beating this wrestler is beating all these crazy martial artists from around the world, and I'm like, oh, that could be me, man. So I try. I'm like, oh, I'm going to dominate this, and I go in. I try a jiu-jitsu class, and some beanpole mid-40-year-old submits me 3 times in a minute. I'm like, oh, this is crazy. How do they do this shit? And like I was a Division I wrestler at the time. I was in shape. And he was just freaking tying me in knots. I'm like, all right, this can't happen again. So then I learned that because I have a giant ego, and I'm like, I'm never going to lose to these jiu-jitsu people again. And then and while I was doing MMA, I fell in love with jiu-jitsu too. And so here where we are now.
It's funny to see the wrestlers go into jiu-jitsu class, like, because my son is like, man, I'm dominant, I'm taking all these guys out, and then I'm like, yeah, 3 seconds later they're choking you out, like, because you're going for the double leg, and then the next thing you know, you're getting choked.
Yeah, I used to get so excited when I took people down in jiu-jitsu. It's like, it means nothing.
Oh man, hey, and you're how tall are you?
5'9" on a good day.
So you're short for your height, you like your class, right? So
Yeah,
what's
sure.
my son is too. So he's only 5'5", and like, so he's on the shorter side too. So how'd you overcome that adversity?
I turned into a strength. I know, like, because I'm so short and compact. I was like, I'm going to be really tough for people to drop their level and take me down. And so what I would do is, especially because my wrestling was so much better than my boxing, I would cheat into a boxing stance, because now you got to beat me with a single leg. You're not going to double leg me because I'm too short and I'm only showing you a blade of my body. So I did that. So, and on top of that, I really got down a good jab and a good feint to cover distance and break distance away. So, and then moving my head with my punches. That was another thing that a lot of short guys got to learn to do. And once I got in on that, I was money. That and just working the clinch to move people's head around. So there was never really a time, especially in MMA, where I thought being short was an issue. I'm pretty strong and stout. I'm not fast. I'm not like don't get it confused with athletic. But I'm pretty strong and stout. So I was able to use that to my advantage. I never really thought of my height being a disadvantage.
I wanted to talk about, like you were talking about putting that jab out there.
Yeah.
I come from a boxing background, so when we throw a jab, it's from here and straight out, bow, right? And then you kind of like step into it. So you whoever your opponent is, they're gonna walk into a pole, bow. I have a friend that did MMA, but he was teaching his kids to kind of step to the side and throw that jab. Does that make sense?
No,
he was teaching his kids to take, it's almost like a 45-degree angle with that lead foot.
Is he trying
they would jab?
Is he trying to set up a takedown? Because that sounds like it's going to open you up for so much stuff.
That's what I was wondering.
No, I'm keeping a crisp boxing jab.
Yeah, nice and straight down the pipe.
Yeah. I mean, I'll create angles on the reset maybe, but no, I wouldn't mess with that. Unless he's trying to set up a takedown or he's trying to slip to a takedown.
Yeah.
That's not out of my playbook. I'm trying to jab, and I'm trying to cover up and shell while I'm jabbing.
Yeah, because his kids were doing that, and I stopped him. I said, "Why are you doing that? Why are you walking to the side? You're taking away the power of that jab.
Yeah.
That jab is a stop sign,
and your balance, no less.
And your balance.
Yeah.
Because if they rush you, you're out of place, and you're anyway."
What was his response?
I didn't. I told them, "Oh, if that's what he's teaching you, then do that." And I walked out.
Yeah, that's what you got to do.
I'm not trying to take over anyone's kids or teaching them or whatever.
I've been there.
I just know.
I can see you try to keep your head off center, but other than that, you gotta make sure that jab staying in your pocket right there.
Yeah. Let's go back to, because this is something that I rarely hear people talk about when they're talking about fighting and boxing and stuff like that. Let's talk about those angles and stuff that you just brought up.
Yeah.
Like when you're trying to, boxing is a lot like chess. People just think it's two dudes up there or two people up there just beating and mangling each other, and not even just boxing, but MMA. It's like chess. Explain to people, like when you're in your stance and you're looking at your opponent, what does it mean to find those angles?
All right. So what I mean by finding those angles is funny. I just had this conversation with a kid who was in the Dana White Contender Series fight last weekend, Max and Lee. when I'm trying to find those angles, it's both for offensive and defensive purposes. I want to get out of the line of fire, but also if I can create that angle first, I'm like trying to size up off your shoulder, especially if you're right-handed. I box right-handed. If I get that angle, I'm just ripping that body to the head. You know, I'm trying to really something in front of the kidneys is getting hit. When you could beat your opponent to the angle, you have a clear advantage to be offensive. It's almost like, you know how in the medieval times with the castles, how they go spiral? They did that so the right-handed fighters could have the advantage on the way down. That's more or less when you create that angle in boxing, that's what you're doing. You have that angle with the sword. And that's the importance of it. Plus, you can create that. Let's say you're trying to fight north-south, which I actually do a lot because I'm shorter. If you're getting beat in combinations and exchanges, or you can't get that takedown, I have to create that angle to get out of the way, or I have to take that angle because I'm shorter to take their weight this way, take their weight off center. I have to grab a single that way. You know, that's so. When you have an angle, you're winning in so many different areas in fighting.
And that's the beauty of the dance. That's the beauty of the dance of it all. And I think that's why I love Terence Crawford's last fight against Canelo, man, because he pieced him up.
Yeah,
he put on a masterpiece.
Yeah, he did.
Stepping on the outside foot and just working, not even getting hit. A little shell here and there, and then just like he just was ripping him.
Yeah. That was a great fight.
That was a great fight.
People were telling me it was boring. I'm like, you got to go back and watch. It was such a masterclass of boxing.
Just like people getting upset when you have two really good pitchers and baseball teams going at each other.
Yeah.
You might not understand it because you've never been in it. I was a catcher up until I was like 35 or something. You know, so I know what to look for, and I know, like, again, the angles when you're playing baseball, you know that I know that this guy who's batting has certain tendencies, so I'm going to tell my outfield to shift to the left or to the right. I see the entire game as the catcher. I see the entire game.
That's wonderful. What a great analogy.
Yeah. So for people to say, "Oh, that Canelo fight was boring," you don't understand what you're looking for.
Yeah. Can't all be home runs.
Yeah. And not just that, like any boxing fan, not just brawlers, but boxers, that technique is what you're looking for. You're not necessarily going to a Floyd Mayweather fight expecting a knockout. You're looking for some quick jabs and some dope ass combinations, and he never gets hit.
Right.
He never gets hit.
I think a lot too is like with the weight of that fight. The fight was like a coming of ages fight. It was like one of those once in a lifetime fights, right? So you get a lot of people watching it that are MMA watchers. They watch the UFC and they want to just go out there and see blood. Somebody get pummeled to death.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's bloodthirsty. So when you put on a master class of boxing, the sweet science, you know what I'm saying? It's like, man, what am I watching here?
Yeah, MMA fans are the worst. Like at the end of the day, they really they think they know fighting, but they know brawling. They like the sweet science is really pretty if you really know what you're watching. That's how I look at it.
And that's why wrestlers get heat too, man, because they don't understand. They're like, oh man, everybody boos and shit. I'm like, man, come on.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the wrestler's wrestling his ass off.
Yeah. Don't even get me started, man.
Hey,
so when you're in the heat of battle, is wrestling your go-to?
1,000%. Yeah, it's my security blanket. It's my identity. Yeah.
Doing some research, man. You get your hand raised, and then you got some mic skills, my man.
Me?
You've been talking some shit. I called one and said, the guy asked you what goes through your mind. You're like, nothing goes through my mind. I'm like, damn. What?
Listen,
like, okay.
I don't know what it was, what I thought, but that was like, it's like, when you're on Zoom and then everything else around you is cloudy, and then it's just like, that's how it was for me. And you know what? I knew not to question it because I didn't want to lose it. I just always competed better than I trained. And I really and yeah, I watched a lot of WWE when I was younger, so I'm sure that's something. But no, I just I got to do this and I got to do this now, and that's kind of what it was. I did have a couple fights. I remember I was distracted and like I just started like humming songs and stuff. Like, well, what the fuck am I doing? You know, like. But no, yeah, it's just that was something I was always very grateful for, and I knew not to question it.
You ever talk shit to somebody while you're beating them up like that?
You say all the time.
No, you know what? No, I never did. I never did. I mean, I actually was like there's been times where like someone gets a nut shot in or something. Oh, sorry, bro. And, like that was it. Like that was the only conversation I ever had. Like I was always fairly respectable. Like when I understand, like, I never talk shit in a fight. There was I only fought one guy I didn't like once. And even then I didn't talk any shit.
When you're fighting against someone that you know and you like versus someone that you despise, is your approach different?
Nah, you gotta win. Win's a win, I mean, I remember the one guy I knew pretty well that when I fought him, we said hello before at the weigh-ins and everything, and then we're keeping our distance after that. Like that was we still got to fight. Like I'm not gonna we shook and hug and whatever, but no, nothing changes. It's all it's like you're playing baseball, whether you don't like him or you like him, it's the same. You're still competitive, right? Like that's why I know that MMA is a fight, but at the same time it's a competition, that's a game, and I always looked at it like that.
Yeah, because I could imagine having just a little extra anger, just a little sprinkling of pissed offness with this person that maybe said something or did something. You're just like, ugh. But for you, you're just like, it don't matter. Ring the bell. I'm about to eat.
Yeah, I gotta win. I need to win. That's what it is.
Nice.
Even when we're training, sometimes like I'm like, I'll get to know you after. Like let's just get this. Let's get this round in.
Yeah. How was it? Did you like being on Ultimate Fighter?
I wasn't on the Ultimate Fighter. I tried out for it.
You did?
I was actually for Bellator. So I was. That's where I fought 9 times for Bellator. I tried out for the Ultimate Fighter. I didn't make it. But from what everything my friends said,
weren't you in the UFC for a few fights?
No. I was an alternate on whatever season, the Black Zillions versus American Top Team. But I was never in the UFC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I just want to throw this in there because I talked to Dean earlier today, right? Because I was like, man, I got Ryan coming on the show, man. I was like, what is there anything you want to ask him? And I was like, he chimed back, he goes, make sure you give him time to discuss his MMA career because he never fought in the UFC. People tend to dismiss his contribution. His journey was just as important as anybody else's. And in fact, I'd say without Ryan's influence, we might not have some of the big names we recognize today.
Yeah, big dog. Yeah, big dog.
So I wanted to make sure that Dean knows that this man right here that's on the show with us today is getting his shine.
Well, that really means a lot, guys. Thank you. And I'll thank Dean too. Yeah, he's really, we put a lot of work in there together. And he's very big on making sure everyone gets their due. And that really means a lot. Thank you.
And to be clear, Bellator was full of killers too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like you just go like wake up and you got a contract in the UFC. There's a journey that's involved with that,
At a certain point in my career, sorry to cut you off, it's like I was making fairly good money with Bellator, and if I had gone to the UFC, I'm going to be making less money. And it would have been nice to go out a Yankee, but I'm talking about getting married at that time, and I'm trying to make a career of this. I don't. How much of a step back could I take? Plus, as far as my clout, so to speak, I probably had more of a shot at going up the ladder with Bellator than starting over with the UFC. Like any business, it's so at that point, I wanted to be in the UFC. I got a call to be an alternate a short notice replacement once in 2014 with the UFC, but I wasn't in shape, and it was like 5 days before, and I was never going to make weight. I was really pissed about that. But whatever, I was pissed, and I never let myself get out of shape again. So it's all good.
Well, that's good too that you didn't say there's the opportunity. Let me jump on it, and you knew physically that you weren't ready for it.
I wasn't going to make weight. Yeah, I was not going to make weight. I used to cut a lot of weight to make 155, and this was like peak fatness for me. Like it was like worth
That's the turkey leg. Oh wait, I got to fight tomorrow. Hold on.
Yeah.
What do you walk around the streets at?
When I was fighting, like 188, 190.
How are you? Where are you now?
Now like 205.
205.
Yeah.
I'm 6 feet I bounce between 215, 220. I cannot break 215, dude.
When I'm intermittent fasting religiously, it really helps. I've started that. It really does help.
Yeah.
You've been doing that for a while, right?
I was, then I stopped. And I was doing it good up until today. So I really wish you didn't bring that up.
Whoops.
We were sent, just to let you know, we were sent to get you back on track.
Oh, boy. Yes.
Yeah, man.
Go get your boiled chicken breast.
Yeah, no more shit.
That's funny shit, man.
Hey, let me catch my breath because that was some funny shit.
Well,
If you
when
were,
go ahead.
No,
because my son right now he's floating around. He's walking around 120, but he wants to wrestle at 113. Right?
Okay. How old is he?
He's 16.
Okay.
So he's in the realm. Like he could do it. Like we started scaling back and get him on a more we've been stripping away the junk food and it's not anything that like is we're forcing him or like making him like run like do solid food and shit like that.
Yeah.
He's doing it correctly. So like what would you ask of your fighters as far as the diet and the stuff like that?
Well, I mean, you got to imagine too, once wrestling season hits, he's going to lose another 3 pounds, at least 3 or 4 pounds. So it's not going to be as bad. But what would I say? I mean, just when and where you eat what you're eating, like, and you'll find once you get in shape, your body's not going. When I was wrestling, I used to, after tournaments, I used to always get a bacon cheeseburger and then just go back to what I was doing. I would vegetables, and when you eat your carbs, fill up on vegetables, and then like your snack is a piece of fruit, maybe a piece of fruit with peanut butter. But like the carbs are not the enemy. It's when you eat them. We eat them either an hour before or an hour after you train, and you're good. And it's carbs are so important. I wouldn't have made 155 healthy if I didn't eat my carbs, because I tried and it sucked.
To break that down for people that don't fully understand, like if you eat, say, a salad or anything like that, that's kind of like gasoline, and then those carbs are kind of like the turbo.
Yeah, very good. I like it.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's why you'll see a lot of like long distance, whether it's runners or biking or anything like that, they'll load up on pasta the night before, and then they just go out and they do whatever shenanigans it is that they're getting into.
Right.
Yeah. So that's smart to actually, if you're looking to lose weight and to leverage food a little bit more scientifically, like you said, it's when you eat those carbs that helps or hurts.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
Don't eat cookies an hour before you go to bed.
Yeah. I can't. I tried that. I'm getting like heartburn at night.
Oh, it's only gonna get worse, baby. It's only gonna get worse.
Yeah, he's been pretty good, man. Like we cut out a bunch of stuff, and like the other day he's starting to like eat avocados like apples.
There you go, bingo. Avocados are the superfood.
So, and he wouldn't touch a vegetable 4 years ago. So
that's like.
I tried to. You know how you take an avocado and you put an egg in it and then you bake it?
Yeah.
I tried to do that. It was so disgusting.
Now I gotta try
it.
Like, I've never done it.
Oh, it's nasty. Don't do it. Don't do it.
No promises.
On the next episode, Ryan makes an egg with an avocado.
Yeah, don't do it.
Okay.
Don't do it. Don't waste your time.
What's it like at America Top Team?
Yeah, I mean, it's a room full of killers, you know, but there's still a camaraderie there. You know, I when I went in there, I was humble enough to just, you know, just show up, keep when they need me, you know, go in there and then I became one of the boys. And you know, you got to keep up. It's like when you're in there, but then if you're just there and doing the bare minimum, the coaches aren't going to pay you any attention. We had 60 fighters on the mat, and a lot of them are making six figures a fight. If you want to get the coach's attention, you know, they're going to focus on who they got to focus on. If you got to show why you're there. So, I mean, I worked my way up, and a lot of the guys like trained with me. I was a very good, safe training partner. I was very, you know, I was competent as far as like giving them the proper amount of production when they're going with me. And I loved it. You know, I have a lot of great friends that are still there. You know, COVID happened and I wasn't signed anywhere, so I got a job in sales. So that's kind of what happened with me. But yeah, it's you got a lot of people there that are going to hold you accountable, no less. You know, it's a business. You know, it's a game, but it's a business, and we know it. And we all want the best for each other, and a lot of camaraderie. But you know, big spot. All these big spots, they're going to have their little cliques. You know, I preferred hanging out with some people that I preferred not to. But yeah, you know, it was a good spot.
It's got to be cool trying to, like, you got all these killers there, and everybody wants to stand out, but there's still that like understanding of we're all in this together.
Well, not everybody was like that, but those people get weeded out real quick. In fact, I always felt that there was people that would come in, and because I was like on the lower end of the known fighters, so to speak, they would always come with me, and sometimes the coaches would put me with them to test them out because I wasn't going to get hurt. You know, I was good enough where I could keep myself safe. But then they would go crazy, and then they saw that like they couldn't manhandle somebody like me. They would be gone in 3 days because they're like, oh, this shit's not for me, you know. But then you get people in there too. It's like they come in, they just want to take the pictures. Everything's social media now, and we don't want to deal with that. You know, we're training, we're trying to do business. You know, we don't go into somebody's conference room in the middle of a meeting and take selfies, and people get weeded out too. But those who respect what's going on and they fit great in the culture.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, I think the selfie takers, they need to understand that when you go into a place like this, you got to put that shit up, because you got a bunch of killers that are, you know, they're trying to outdo other killers.
Yeah.
And they might take it as disrespect that you're going in here with your goofy ass pictures and stuff.
I tell you, man, when I retired, I didn't go back and train for 2 years because I was like, you know, because when I'm in there, you see these people, they come in, they're just there just to say they're there. And I said, I'm never going to be that person, you know. And then finally after 2, I'm like, I really missed that place. And actually I remember Thiago Alves. I'm like, yo, man, I fucking missed it. You know, it's like, dude, they thought I was crazy. Him and Mike Brown are like, dude, you don't ever have to ask. I'm like, all right, you're right. Bye. But yeah, like that would drive me nuts that people would just use our spot where we're conducting business as like an amusement park or whatever.
Yeah, because I mean, you're taking pictures and you're thinking like, this guy's not going to last anyway because he's just here to show off.
Yeah,
right.
Don't put me in there.
One-time deal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So to remedy that situation, does the team, do they put that person in with someone who kind of roughs them up a little bit to like?
I can't say that never happened, but it's not. It wasn't a common practice, I guess, but I can't say it happened.
Yeah, because I see those videos of the people, they set up their cameras in the gym.
Yeah.
And when I was at peak gym, I was a gorilla. I was just, you know, I just go in there to move big, heavy things. And then you got someone over here that, number one, that's not what that machine is for. Why are you dangling from that? It's not for that, you know. And then you see these videos of these girls doing things and they getting mad at the people over there and all the things. And it's for working out.
Right.
It's not for selfies. Go outside and do that shit. You're disruptive.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I never had patience for it.
Yeah. Tell me about your first professional fight. What was that like?
That was actually in a ring. Made $400, and
You got paid $400.
yeah. And it was. I remember thinking, "Wow, these gloves are real small." You know, like it made me want to wrestle all that much more. And I remember I got kicked. I got a good one in the face, and actually, there was a magazine that was up there that published it. And I had a busted eye, and I was still in college at the time. Actually, I went back to school later, but at the time I was in college, and we had midterms that week. And I had to show up with this freaking eye in class and tell these freaking teachers, "Hey, listen, I'm a professional fighter. I didn't just go out and get into a bar fight." Like, oh, okay. So, yeah. So I won.
Keep it hard. Stop real quick. You won?
Yeah, I won by decision. I remember.
That a boy.
$400.
Not for anything, but I remember Dean saying that he was ready. He was going to kill this dude, and he got kneed in the face or something.
Yeah. It's a wake up call.
He did tell the BJ Penn story, man. That was great.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Right now.
Who at America Top Team is the next big one to come out? What do you think?
Maybe Johnny Eblin. Oh, he's with that PFL right now. I don't know. I'm not there enough to focus on who's the next generation. Right now, I'm only in there like once a month. So, but Johnny Eblin is the biggest younger name that they got right now.
Gotcha.
Nice. And hearing you shift into sportscaster, I wanted to make sure that everyone knows that you have already started your own YouTube channel.
Yes.
Where you're talking about your sports in general, right?
So thank you for bringing that up. I do Dean Thomas Fight Court with Dean. Love it. We talk about just MMA stuff, but we focus more on like the coaching and analysis of the actual fight. Oh yeah, the BS, it's unavoidable. So we talk about that stuff too. But then I have Quinn Uncaged, which I talk about some MMA. I like doing that just with Dean. But then I talk about like baseball and football and the art of coaching behind things. I'm doing a speaking arrangement with Dean for Florida State University down here. They're doing something at Nova Southeastern where we're talking about MMA coaching, sports psychology for other sports. And so I like focusing on that stuff too, that I talk about, just like the actual coaching aspect for all sports. And I call it Quinn Uncaged because it's like out of the cage, outside of MMA. And a nice ring to it. So yeah, that's what we got there.
Yeah. Have you always had a passion for all the sports?
Yes.
Breaking things down and
yeah. I always I would watch ESPN religiously, especially when we were training. You don't train at like 11 o'clock in the morning. So I'd be watching First Take, Sports Center, all that junk. And I just loved it. I was like, oh, I could beat this dude in a sports debate. Like it was always about it. And then even when I read books, it was always like books on like Moneyball, like general manager books for baseball, or like books on dynasties and the NFL, stuff like that, like the team building and all that always interests me. Or even like just anything with strategy as far as sports. It's funny. Everyone always told me you got to read The Art of War and this, and like that's cool. I'm just not into the military stuff like that. I mean, I'll read a history book once in a while.
Sure.
I really enjoy the sports books.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a big fan of learning and teaching. So when I was checking out your channel and I was catching the angle that you were coming at, that's one of the things that I liked. It's not you just like belly aching about, oh, Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears lost to Detroit and they suck and they're always going to be terrible. It wasn't that. Like you actually go and you start breaking things down in a really unique way.
I feel that's one thing that a lot of sports analysts don't have is you got to respect the athlete. Like me, I've been a professional athlete. I've been on both sides of good and bad. So I know that these dudes just aren't showing up on Sunday and doing their best. They're putting stuff in their life into this. And I mean, there's going to be times where athletes aren't trying, but for the most part, I'll give them their credit. That's how I look at
You
it.
gotta, you gotta figure everybody that they're up against is the best at what they do.
Yep.
Like something's got to give.
Yep.
How do you feel about your Jets right now, man?
You know what? I'm in a good spot with them. I just said if they win 5 games this year and they're competitive, I'll be super happy. And they haven't won any games yet, but they're competitive right now. And the Bills game they weren't competitive, but I'm cool with that because that means the culture's changing. With the Jets, they're either riding high until they flop or they just suck and the culture's down. And they don't seem to have that down culture right now. And I love coaches that hold people accountable, and Aaron Glenn seems to do that. So like, he really demands respect in that room, and I dig it.
Yeah, we coming from Chicago, Carlos and I, man, we love us some Justin Fields, man. So
I love Justin Fields. I wanted him out of the draft, so I'm happy they got him.
Me too. I actually wrote on his Instagram page, I said, it's good to see you with a team that sees your potential and that they're actually building off of him, not just putting him in a spot.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
we almost killed that kid.
Dude, yeah. I remember seeing that. I'm like, damn, like they really did. They did him dirty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They almost did Caleb dirty too if they didn't get Johnson in there now, man. And he's starting to come together.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I think for them, specifically for Chicago, I bet you what they did is they're like, look, Caleb, we're going to get you, but you're going to have to run for 1 year.
So that's why, like, I mean, and I get why you can't do it like this, but I remember in the Jets in 2009, 2010, like they drafted Mark Sanchez, but they had the best line of offensive and the best offensive line in football, the best defense, future running back. Like, it's easy to succeed and be safe for a rookie quarterback like that.
Yeah.
Like, you got to get the future quarterback though. That's just the league we're in. You know, I get it, but I would rather see things built that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a lot of destroying and rebuilding in Chicago, and like finally they got a decent offensive line and they got some weapons out there finally, and not just some guys that they signed for
Virginia is finally out of the way. Rest in peace. But yeah, no, you guys chime in with what you think, but if I was an owner, my approach would be like the Yankees and the Dodgers. I'm putting together some heat every year.
Yeah. Some people just don't have the money to do that, but yeah, I prefer to do it that way.
Yeah.
Go get what you need. Go get what you need.
I'm gonna make my money. I'm gonna make my money on T-shirts and jerseys.
Yep. Bingo.
Yeah. And you got to get guys like the guys that are willing to be like, hey, I don't need to be the highest paid player at my position. Let's go get some pieces to help us win some chips.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't need to be Jerry Jones.
Mm-hmm.
But that comes kind of like mid-career, right? When you're a youngster, yeah, it'd be fun to win a championship and stuff, but right now I'm just coming out of college. I got to fix my family. I want the bag.
Yeah.
Right? So it would be hard to get a young player that's just making it in to be like, all right, cool, I'll take a pay cut so you guys can get all of my money to all these old fuckers that have been here for a while. So then we can go get no, give me my bag. And then, mid-level or mid-range career, those are the guys that you need to actually take a look and they start talking about legacy and all that stuff.
This is your last shot. Work with us so we can get you something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that could be completely wrong, but as a person that likes to think he's somewhat of an athlete with an athletic mind, that's my approach would be that. Would convince some of these guys that have been in the league for a handful of years, be like, look, let's go get this ring, and then after when we're done, if you want to stick around, that'd be cool. If not, then go get your bag. Who gives a shit?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with that.
Yeah.
So your boys are up against the Dolphins on Monday, right?
Monday night.
Is Justin back?
I think he might be out one more week.
I think he's in.
I'll look it up. Yeah, I'll look it up. I hope he's back.
That'd be dope.
Dolphins suck, man. You guys got to tear them up, dude.
Yeah. See, where we kind of lack like physical ability, at least we have the foundation in place. The Dolphins, it's the flip. And me as a coach, I'd rather have a good foundation in place than have a room full of stud athletes that just are completely uncoordinated. You know, that's horrible.
Things for themselves by themselves.
That's horrible leadership. I'm not a Mike McDaniel hater, but that's horrible leadership right there.
And then what's the quarterback? I
Tua should have retired. I hate seeing the concussion that kid's getting.
Dude, when they a couple years ago when his arms went stiff,
yeah,
fingers were just like curling up.
Out of here with that.
Like, brother, son.
Mm-hmm.
What are
He's
you
one
doing?
away from. Yeah.
How are MMA? How's the MMA? All the leagues of MMA. How do they handle that concussion protocol?
Well, you got to pass a physical, and then when you reach a certain age, you got to take an MRI. And then if your MRI doesn't click, you don't get licensed.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that would be.
They're not playing around, huh?
No, it's too much, and I don't think it's because they care about the athlete. They just don't want the lawsuit if anything happens. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Was that like something you guys negotiate? And is there a collective bargaining agreement for MMA and stuff like that? Nothing like that, right?
There's none of that. No.
And they probably don't want it either.
Yeah. The gap is too wide between those. Like I made $400 my first fight. You think Conor McGregor cares about what somebody who's making $400 is doing?
Conor McGregor doesn't get out of bed for $400.
Yeah.
Not even if it's just to get out of bed, just to stand up and then lay back down.
I'll give you $400 if you just stand up and get out of bed. And he's like, nah, fuck out of here.
Oh shit, man!
Have you hung out with folks like that? I mean, besides Dean. Dean is a legend.
Yeah. Well, Robbie Lawler is a really good friend of mine. Thiago Alves. Glover Teixeira, I used to live with him. He's a good friend of mine. Yeah, all those guys. Yeah. Alex Pereira.
All those guys get to say they hung out with you now.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Atta boy.
Alex had a fight coming up, man.
Robbie came to my office and made me look like $1 million. Like, oh, your friends with this guy? I'm like, yeah.
He's all right.
But yeah, Alex has a fight coming up. Yeah, I think he's going to do it this time. I think he's going to get that one back.
I think so. Mm-hmm. I just think he was worn out, man. He was fighting whenever they called.
Yeah, I think he's gonna get that one back.
Do you think it was just that he was worn out, or
part of it? The game plan for Ankalaev was a little better than had planned. You know, he mixed up the striking well, but I think it was a mix of both, and I think that Alex will have figured both out now. So plus he's all rested up, like you said, fought like 4 times or 5 times in 15 months or something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was something nuts. And then not to mention the training he did with Steven Seagal.
Oh, God. I hate listening to that guy talk, but it's whatever.
Have you ever been in the same room where he's teaching and all that stuff?
No. I'd probably walk out. I just have the.
Because Mike and I have talked about that in the past, and we're like, yeah, it's Steven Seagal, and at one point people thought that he was a little bit of something.
Yeah, I mean, I guess back in the day he was really good at Aikido, but he thinks that that's the answer for everything.
Yeah.
And it's not. There's so much more to martial arts, and it's not a movie either.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like so many stories. Like people go on Howard Stern and talk about their run-ins with Steven Seagal and just how ridiculous he is. It's pretty funny.
I could see him, man. I could just see him up there, man, just thinking he's the shit.
That's hilarious.
I'm Steven Seagal.
Hey, Ryan.
Kimo posted something. Go ahead. You good?
I was going to ask, you know how sometimes people have a shirt, like my niece had one when she was a kid. It said, "My uncle will beat up your uncle."
Uh-huh.
Does your kid say, "No, for real, my dad will fuck you up"?
No. I think my kid will just say, "I'll F you up." He's competitive, man.
He's the one, right?
Yeah. What were you gonna say?
I do music, and my son. He's like, "I don't listen to you, Pop." I'm like, I'm cold as hell, man. What you talking about? But
He doesn't
but no,
speak bar.
no, he doesn't. He doesn't get the bars. King Mo had put something up on his Instagram, or is it Threads or something? His
Yeah.
top 5 martial arts. So I mean, I would assume that wrestling is number 1 for you, right?
Yeah. What was his overall? Actually, I'm sure we agree within the 5, but we probably put them in different areas.
I'd have to look it up. I think it was jujitsu, but it kind of tapered off, and there was a bunch of people chiming in, and like it wasn't. And
Yeah. Yeah. My top 5 for effectiveness, like number 1, wrestling. Number 2, jiu-jitsu. Number 3, boxing. Number 4, kickboxing. And I think there's a very distant between the 3 and 4 there. Boxing is much more effective, easier to set up. And number 5, I'm going to go judo.
Judo over Muay Thai?
Yeah. No, judo, like throwing and heavy hips and stuff like that.
Yeah. Leveraging,
Yeah.
stuff like that. I can see that, man. I can see that.
I would argue it depends on where you are. Are you in a bar? Are you in a cage?
Yeah, that's true too. Like I always say, my son's gonna learn how to throw a good jab, because if you get jabbed in the face, and I'm good, man. Like,
Oh yeah.
That would stop half your problems right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially a quick one. You don't even have to hit them real hard. Just
Yeah.
a quick one. Bing.
See those
What the fuck? Where'd that come from?
My nose. I'm bleeding. You also look stupid.
You look dumb as hell right now. I'm bleeding, not your nose.
What's the day in the life for you, Ryan?
I train jiu-jitsu 5:30 in the morning, then I get my son to school. I work and I try to figure out on lunch breaks, things like this. We do the podcast, I do something for YouTube, and then at night I pick up where I left off. And on the weekends I watch UFC and football, and then I have baseball on, and that's
Nice.
it. Yeah.
That's the life right there, man.
What are you? Is that kind of like until further notice? You're gonna focus on this and you're gonna grow. Are you looking to get into, I don't know, crypto? Are you there?
No, I'm not. I really am. Like you said, like, I'm cool with where I'm at. I want to grow the YouTube thing, and I want to do. Like if I could be like a Pat McAfee, I'd love it. That's what I want to do. But yeah, I'm cool with the process right now. I'm doing it with Dean, who's a good buddy of mine. So what am I going to complain about, right?
Yeah. I'm going to throw this out there too. Now that we're connected, like if you need any help, any resources in that, like trying to grow your YouTube, I'm a resource for you.
Well, I'm totally going to need the help. So I'll shoot you my number in when we get off here, and we'll all stay, the 3 of us.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, man.
Awesome.
That's what it's all about, man.
I talk a lot of shit. Sometimes I might need to make that call.
All right. Well, we'll trade over some YouTube tips for the fight. That's cool.
Boy, hey, Cefore, between having Ryan and Dean and as much shit talking as we do, we good. We good.
Yeah,
it's time to ratchet it up now.
Not while the Irish Jets are on. Otherwise, you're on your own.
That's good shit, man. Well, I know I'm covered, man, because I know 20 minutes north I got Dean, and I'm not too far down the road. I can give you a holler too, man. So
good, bro.
But that's what we try to do, man. We just try to bring people on the show that are doing what we do, or doing stuff that we're interested in, that they're doing what they love to do, and just trying to connect everybody together and just do it together, man. It's just fun.
For me, being independent, I love people going independent. I love people, like, social media has introduced a wonderful democratization of information.
Yeah.
And so, I love connecting with folks that are passionate about what they're doing, and they want to go independent. They want to build their own thing. I am such a huge fan of that. So yeah, brother, I am here for you.
Guys, you owe me. You got to come on my channel and help fight Uncaged.
We can do that.
Awesome.
Oh hell yeah.
We can do that.
Hell yeah. That'd be the shit, man.
Yeah. All right. I am gonna have to get going though. I heard the work phone going off. But guys, thank you so
Prove
much.
it.
Appreciate this.
Thanks for taking
Yeah, man,
time to
thanks.
talk to us.
All right. Have a great weekend. All right.
Take
Two
care.
brother. Go Jets, right?
Go Jets. Go Bears.
Go Bears.
Yeah, there we go.
And with that, y'all, we out.
Yes, sir. Peace.